Good morning, caregivers. How are you doing? I'm beginning to absolutely hate this look. Sometimes you're going to agree with me. Going out in public and getting a smile from a random stranger just to let you know that their day is good is, something in a caregiver's life when you're alone and you really only have the people in your family that are here that, your immediate family, and then the person that, of course, that you're giving your care to. A lot of days you can go days without a smile, and then, it used to be for me when I went out in public, when I went to go grocery shopping, my husband would stay with grandpa and we would have a few days or a few hours that I could just go and shop, and you'd get that random smile, or you could see people's faces. And now it's eyes, and sometimes eyes are they don't give it the whole story. That smile is what gives that story a lot of times. And so you're finding yourself just I am in this situation of a lot of loneliness. There's not as much upgiving and wonderful things that are happening. Um, in the last few months, at the end of March, my husband was actually laid off. And then last week, I started my furlough. Um, so it's been a real big transitioning period from where, I was caring for Grandpa because I do work at home, and I was caring for Grandpa throughout the day. And for the first time in my life and my husband's life, we have so much time on our hands. And you would think that that would be like the best, most amazing thing in the entire world until you're there. And last week, I will admit, I kind of did a shutdown, and I wanted to just sleep, and I couldn't get anything done. I would start a project, and then immediately it was like, I'm just too tired, I'm going to nap. And I could feel myself towards the end of the week. I realized that, a lot of this was just absolute depression. It was a little bit of feeling sorry for myself. Um, I had to really reevaluate, and which I did over the weekend. I sat down once it got to be Friday and realized that, it's Friday, because the days are running together. It used to be when you take a week off. Sorry about that. Cat. I got a new puppy too. If you would take a week off and you're counting down the days of, oh God, I got to go back to work in X days. And now it's like the not knowing, the absolute not knowing. I'm in a state that we're in some kind of transition, but we don't know where we're at really. Nobody's really quite sure there. Obviously, no hair is being done, no nails are being done. We got a lot of people running around with either home cut haircuts or pretty shaggy, and I think that that's causing a little bit of, you're just not feeling the best. And by Friday, I realized, you know what, I realized I work at home all the time anyway, and there are days that I go without putting any makeup on a normal basis, but, and sometimes going without a shower because I'm just on constant, you're going. You're going from the time you get up in the morning, you're caring for other people, you're caring for your loved one, and then all of a sudden, it's bedtime, and the whole day is gone. And this week I started off with Sunday morning, and it was wake up, shower, get makeup on, try to do my hair, and I'm doing all that before I'm even getting breakfast ready for Grandpa and my husband, and I'm just trying to do that extra step to give myself some normalcy, so that when I walk past a mirror, I'm not like, oh, who's that person? Finding yourself that I also found that I'm not, you think that you're integral to a part or to a position in your life and where you're working, and that's your takeaway from reality sometimes. And I guess that it's not really a reality, but my job, I work at, it's almost like putting puzzles together, because I'm reading medical records and then I'm putting them, what the doctor says and what the symptoms are into numbers, and so I was always using my brain. And now it's like a complete shutdown. Um, that's another thing. I'm back to picked up, when Grandpa's having downtime, I'm writing. I'm trying to, obviously we're getting a lot done around here. I can barely move in the last couple of days because I've been outside helping my husband get a tree line cleared out, which is kudos to men. I'm not built for that. I am sore at the end of the day. Actually looking out and seeing what you've done is great. Getting any little thing done. And we may have cleared 3 feet of the tree line in a day, and all of a sudden, you felt like you've at least done something. You've accomplished a lot. And around here, we have so much to do. And normally it's after you get off work and you work for a couple hours or for an hour or so, and that's part of the exhaustion at night, and just sometimes not taking care, not doing anything. And then, the normal visitors coming to see Grandpa, that's pretty much gone, and trying to explain to him when he is lucid why people aren't here and why they're not coming, and it's not because they don't love him, it's because they do love him. That's difficult as well. I am just so overwhelmed with time at this point. And like I said, just making a schedule, trying to stick by the schedule. Retirement was not even in my plan for another 16 years, I think. So having this shutdown for I don't know how long, and how long we'll be home, I just don't know. Hopefully my house will be pristine and beautiful, with the new puppy and my other dog. It's pretty much like having toddlers in the house again. I've had to also, in this time, Grandpa did have a caregiver that came every couple of days, and she showered him and helped him with the shower and all of that, and just because of the situation, and she is somebody, that she took all precautions and everything, but I was just very uncomfortable because she did go to other people's houses, and then, going from home to home, and even with wearing the PPEs and everything, you just don't know. He's 89 years old, and I just didn't want to put him in the position, so we've had to cancel her for now, so that has fallen on me. He doesn't really appreciate me showering him, and part of that is because it's a trust issue. He knows that that's what she does, and she gives off a huge air of confidence when she's doing this, and I step in and I'm helping, and that transitioning from the floor to the tub is just terrifying to me. I try not to let it go off and push towards him and make him feel like that, but I think that sometimes it does. But as this time has gone on, I've gotten a little bit more confident in giving him showers. It's still just like doing a toddler. You can't turn your back for a minute because of slips and falls. You can't, you're on point with it. And then, of course, changing him and helping him and doing all that as going forward. Hopefully, at some point, I'll feel confident enough to be able to have her come back into the home. But, how can I really invite, an outsider in when, at this point, our kids can't even really come to visit because they're both in very Their jobs are working with the public. My daughter is a tech in an ER, so obviously she's possibly could be surrounded by it. My son he works as a corrections officer, so, part of it's keeping him away actually, so that, there's no transmission between us to him, because obviously him taking that into a prison would be horrible. So, even though my kids are 15 minutes away or less, I'm not getting to spend that time with them, and trying to come up with this, fix this new reality and our new norm, and come up with a new norm. We have, there's a lot of phone calls. We visit on the porch or outside when it's beautiful days. I will go out and spend time with them out there. We do have to social distance because of Grandpa, and I can't bring it in here. There's so many things that disruptions to our lives, but also, that being said, when my husband first got his furlough, and that was back at the end of March, and he was very down, and he was like, this is the first time since I was 15 I haven't had a job. It was a very down time for him, and for the first few weeks, and he was just like almost manic in trying to get stuff done. He was he constantly working and not letting up. So he was doing a lot of that, and for what his body would allow. He's got carpal tunnel, and so his arms were, there's a lot of stuff he can't do, but he was doing what he could. Well, then it dawned on me one day, and I told him, I said, why don't you just enjoy this? Take this time, regroup, recoup, get the things done you want to do, but it's not an emergency thing. If you want to take a nap all day, take a nap all day. When in our lifetimes are we going to be given the chance to not work for however long we're not going to work? We're still getting, I've applied for unemployment, he's gotten unemployment. His boss actually went and got the loan so that he's able to pay his employees now. We're not using up our vacation time. We're not using up any time that's hurting us physically. But this is a time that we could really spend getting closer to each other, finding time to do those things that we wanted to do, read a book. I'll admit it, I've started Dante's Inferno again. I've gotten literally 5 pages in, and I'm completely lost again. I don't know. That's been on my list of books to read forever, and I'm never gonna do it. It is, for a poem, it's just, oh my gosh. But this is that time that we can do that. We can refresh, we can renew. Not dwell on what could happen, because in doing that, we're taken away from today. I'm worried, I'm taking time to Grandpa, to enjoy the time when he is lucid and when we can have conversations. I'm missing out on the time with my husband because I'm stressed. I'm missing out on conversations with my kids when I do get to be with them, because I'm thinking of here and there and everywhere and my mother. And so don't look at this as the worst time. Take it and really find that good in what position you're in. If you're healthy, you're healthy. If it's time to heal, then heal. And spend that time just really reconnecting with yourself. As always, I want to emphasize, every single day, find something to do for yourself. You're a caregiver, and being a caregiver takes so much out of yourself. It takes so much away from you. You start to become a totally different entity. Find that one thing, find some little thing to do for yourself, whether it's read for 15 minutes, watch YouTube videos, veg out watching TV, listen to music, walk around your garden, whatever you can do for you. Find that few minutes and spend that time with yourself. And you have an absolutely wonderful, amazing day. Don't forget to wear your masks out in public if you're still under quarantine state like we are. And just try to go out and be the best you can be, and be the best caregiver, and be the best person. You have a great day. Thank you.